Go for it.
Add 4.
Add 4, okay?
Yeah.
So we've added 4 to deal with the subtract 4. Now I'm not saying that you have to do that as your first step, but it's certainly a valid one. So we end up with x equals x that's divided by 4 plus 24.
Yeah. Multiply the x over 4.
Right, so we're multiplying by 4 because we've only got a quarter of x there and we want whole x's. So if I multiply this by 4, right, but remember you don't multiply individual parts by 4. What you actually do is you multiply the entire side by 4. So although I would write times by 4 like that, which gets rid of that, technically what we're actually doing, if it makes it clearer, is this. We're actually putting brackets around that, multiplying by 4, and also multiplying the whole, so you've actually got to do the whole side. So what does that do?
4x equals x plus
So x
96.
divided by 4 times 4 is just x, but this is where a lot of people fall foul because they forget to do that has to be multiplied by 4 as well, which is plus
96.
96.
Yeesh. Divide it all by 4.
Minus x.
We could divide by 4, but it
No,
would put
minus
me
x.
back to a position that I've
Yeah.
just got rid of. So we actually take away x,
And then divide by 3.
which is
3x equals
3x's equals
96.
And from that point, you are dividing by 3, so I know what 1x is. Divide the answer by 3, and I get
X equals 32.
x equals 30.
yes.
So do you only multiply, when you multiply everything, do you only do it for everything that you're multiplying? Or multiply?
Or dividing.
Okay.
Now, you could argue that actually this line here, I did subtract to the whole side. So if I were to rewrite this as 4x minus x equals x plus 96 minus x, just the way we do that means that I just collect the terms, don't I? So that the minus x only applies to the x. That's why I write it next to the thing. But multiplication is, well, I want 4 lots of everything on that side. So yes, you have to do it the whole thing. So the next one we're looking at, so I might as well go through because then it will help you. By the way, when you subtract fractions, I'm going to look at this one in a bit. When you subtract fractions, what do you have to do? Common denominator, good. Should we look at this one, or do you reckon you'll be alright?
I'll be right.
Yeah,
It'll be
we'll
alright.
Be
try.
alright.
We'll try.
I'll let you do it.
By 5.
Okay, so you've done multiply by 5, so times everything by 5, times everything by 5. So you've done that to get rid of that. That gives you 4 times x minus 5. You'll do it to that. So
Minus
minus
15x.
15x equals 5x is minus
180.
180. Okay. Now what do you do?
Plus 180 perhaps?
Well, there's nothing to plus it to, so you're not
Minus-
simplifying
Do
anything.
minus 5x.
We could minus 5x. It's not what I would do at this stage, but we can. Would you like
Oh,
to
would
do
you,
that?
would you divide by 4?
What? No.
I could divide by 4. Again, it's not very nice because 15 doesn't divide by 4, neither does 5. So I would try and avoid that. I could minus the 5x. So if I did that, by the way, it would be 4x minus 5 minus 15x minus 5x equals 5x minus 5x minus 180, which, by the way, you don't have to write this out all the time, I'm just showing you to explain. So this would then become 4 lots of x minus 5 minus 20x equals 5x minus 5x is nothing, so we're left with just negative 180. That's what we got rid of there. So the times 5 got rid of that. Minus and 5x got rid of that. What do we do now?
Would it minus 5x in the brackets?
No, I've taken 5x, I've chosen to take it away from the 15x. That's it done, right?
Now you divide by
Because the x in the
Yeah, now
brackets
you can
is not
divide.
actually an x, because it's x minus 5.
Well, how much x's is it?
1.
It's 1x, but I've got 4 lots of it all.
Oh, sheesh.
How about we do an expansion of these brackets? Then we've got 4x's minus 20 minus 20x equals minus 180. So I've expanded it. Why did I expand those brackets?
So then you can combine the 4.
What's it called correctly? Combining works, but we're actually doing what we call collecting like terms. So 4x minus 20x now can be done, right? So what's 4x minus 20x?
Negative 16x.
Negative 16x minus 20 equals negative. Now, that's absolutely fine. It is the route I would have gone. You can see why now, because everything's all negatives, which is a bit kind of messy, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. We've not done anything wrong at this stage. I just would have gone the other direction, so I wasn't dealing with negatives. It doesn't matter. What do we do at this stage? Hey?
How did you know it's gonna end up like
Just experience, I guess. Because you subtract 5x from negative 15x, it's going to make it more negative. I know I've only got 4x's there, so I know by removing that instead of the 180, the 180 is negative. Just lots of negatives going on either side, you know. But it doesn't matter. What do we do at this stage then? Add 20, yeah. Let's add 20 to that. Gives me
Negative 16x equals.
Wait, what did we add? 20x?
not
Up
20x,
Yeah.
20.
No, like up there. It says 4x minus 20 minus 20x.
Yeah.
Wouldn't we add 20x?
But it's subtract 20x, why would I add it?
Because we
That
had.
comes from here, look. You only do the opposite if you're trying to remove it from a side. This wasn't removing it, this was collecting the like terms
Oh,
together.
okay.
Yeah? If I wanted to remove this, I would add 20x, but that would just add it back to this side,
Oh.
which is what I did, you know. I minused 5x. What I would have done is added 15x at this point. Yeah? But that's all right, because we get negative 16x is negative 160, so the answer is still quite a simple one to find, which is
Divide by,
divide by negative 16,
which gives you 1x.
1x equals
10.
positive 10.
Sheesh.
So yes, we could have done it in a different direction, different order, you know, maybe not in a different order, but dealt with things in a different way, rather than subtracting 5x. I would have expanded, once I got to this stage, this was definitely the correct first thing to do. I might even have actually added 3x before multiplied by 5. Just to make that would have been then 4x, which would what we ended up with anyway. I would have added 3x, I would have then expanded the bracket straight away, and that, you know, we ended up with the same answer either way. Okay. Right. Back to you.
X does equal 10. Oh.
Well, what I would do here is I would multiply this fraction by 2. So basically, you are putting brackets and you're doing 2 times that and 2 to... That doesn't change that fraction, does it? It's an equivalent fraction. So you then have 2 lots of 2x minus 3 over 12. And you've got minus, well, I would multiply this one by 3, which would give me 3x over 12. What does that then give you? Well, that will give you, when you subtract fractions, you just subtract the tops, no? Minus 3x is all divided by 12. Okay. So that's just adding fractions or subtracting fractions, right? Yeah. And obviously now we're in a very similar position to where we were before. Now I've got two approaches to this situation. I'm not going to go through it now. Well, what should you do first, actually? Pardon? You definitely can expand the brackets and collect the like term together, but this is a fraction, but a fraction is basically a division, right? So could we not deal with that first? Times by 12. So if we times everything by 12, we get rid of that then, and it becomes 2x minus 3 minus 3x equals... And now, yeah, you can expand. You could have expanded the brackets before and then done the times by 12 afterwards. It doesn't matter, you know. But definitely now, expand those brackets, collect the like term, and should be quite a simple one to solve from that point.
Mr. Claus, can you go up?
So you've expanded the brackets to 4x minus 6 minus 3x equals 12. What did you do then, Hugo?
Is it x equals -5?
So we add the 4x minus 3x gives me x minus 6 equals 12. That's just simplifying, that's collecting the like terms. I've not done anything else. 4x minus 3x is x. What do you do now? Simple as
-6.
add 6. And I get x equals 18.
So plus 3.